Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Yesterday, when Papa's words were read out, many of us would have thought that why we are made to get confused. In some places, he says, with concentration or without concentration, you chant. Name is the panacea for everything. And then later on, he continues to amplify it, saying that mechanical chanting, parrot-like chanting, lip-level chanting will not be of any use. So many of us would have got probably slightly confused. It is not so. If we go through one article of Pujya Swamiji, he brought it under the caption of Dive Deep and Soar High. There is a particular chapter called Teacher and the Seeker. There he says, the seeker, when he goes to the teacher, we need your blessings and occasional darshan to give further impetus to our sadhana. So the Guru says, our good wishes and blessings are with you, but you have to play your part. Seeker is asking, what part? Swamiji, all of you are blessed with love and devotion and a desire to have God vision. Desire alone won't do. Your aspiration to realize the truth must be fiery and your sadhana well disciplined. Instead of being merely devotees, you must turn into real sadhakas, not remaining merely as arthas and artharthis. So the seeker is asking, is there a difference between sadhakas and devotees? So the teacher says, yes. Devotees are those who are devoted to God, but aspire mainly for worldly things. They are not generally keen to have anything higher. Whereas jitnasus or sadhakas aspire only for God. They put themselves under strict discipline, which is like an advanced course that demands a high standard of dispassion, intensity of aspiration, and discipline. So the seeker asks, can we all become sadhakas living in household? Teacher, you can. Sadhana does not necessarily mean leaving the household. One can do sadhana living as a householder. What is required is intense aspiration to realize God, a high degree of dispassion, which will enable the sadhaka to be in communion with God constantly through chanting of His name, prayer, meditation, besides dedicating all the activities to Him. This is safer than renouncing everything and going to solitude for sadhana. Now, it goes on, but here we should know that devotees and sadhakas. So we can say that so far we have been devotees. Whenever we are confronted with serious problems, we used to pray intensely and seek His intervention to help us to get over that crisis, whether it is mental, physical, financial, social. This is natural. But yesterday's words were addressed to sadhaka. Because in the sadhaka's case, they say, strict disciplines. So we should have the right perspective, proper mental background while taking up any form of sadhana. So far probably we would not have applied, or God has not made us to deeply apply our mind on the sadhakas. So this year when He prompted us to take up in-depth study intensely in quest of God, He probably touched and kindled so many things in all of us. And that is why the devotee was prompted to write like that. And as an answer to that, Papa answered in so many words about the need to have the proper perspective. As we said yesterday, there are still many instances where the devotee becomes a sadhaka and then he is not bothered about what should be the mental background or this or that. To him, when the Guru says that you will attain Him if you constantly hold on to the name exclusively. We were remembering about Valmiki's case. He did not know any philosophy, what should be the mental background or this and that. But at the same time, it was one-pointed. It was exclusive devotion. So while when we heard, none of us need to get depressed. We have not been doing it, or we are unable to do it. It is only a pointer. Papa pointed out, Papa chose yesterday to point out the areas where we can try to improve, that's all. But it was a great lesson for all of us. He was trying to emphasize that we are chanting the name of one who is within us and who is making us to chant. So here Puja Swamiji also says in this Teacher and Seeker that there are two. In Bhagavad Gita you must have heard. Artha, Artharthi, Jijnasu, Jnani cha Bharatarsha. Jnani. So normally Artha, we all belong to the Artha and Artharthi initially. Whenever we are in trouble, Artha means whenever we are in trouble, we used to pray for his intervention. Whenever we were we feel we are not adequately provided with the material facility, artharthi, we pray for our welfare or somebody's welfare whom we are attached to. That is okay. But then the next comes, says, jitnyasu. So we have to move on, that's all. Vinobaji has even justified the artha and artharthi. He said that is the stepping stone. There also we recognize there is a higher power than us. And we are asking to him who is the great provider, who has provided everything for us. Just like when we were children, we were asking our parents whatever we wanted. So there also the bhavana is there. So now we have to see that somehow we try to qualify ourselves as jitnyasus. So that we wanted to just make it a point. So he specifically said, all of you are blessed with love and devotion and a desire to have God vision. Desire alone won't do. Your aspiration to realize the truth must be fiery and your sadhana well disciplined. Instead of being merely devotees, you must turn into real sadhakas and not remaining merely as arthas and artharthis. So devotees are generally known as, or those who are devoted to God, no doubt. But aspire only for mainly for worldly things. They are not generally keen, there may be some, they are not generally keen to have anything higher. That I should feel the presence of God, I should feel nearer to Him, I should know that He is taking me, I should be aware of His guidance, I should be aware of His grace. Generally, no. They are not generally keen to have anything higher. Whereas jitnyasus aspire only for God. They put themselves under strict discipline, which is like an advanced course that demands a high standard of dispassion, intensity of aspiration, and discipline. Then the question comes, is it reserved only for people who are single? No? What about grihasthas? So that is also answered. You can. Can we become sadhakas living in the household? You can. Sadhana does not necessarily mean leaving the household. Leaving the household, not living. One can do sadhana living as a householder. What is required is intense aspiration to realize God, a high degree of dispassion, which will enable the sadhaka to be in communion with God constantly through chanting of His name, prayer, meditation, besides dedicating all the activities to Him. This is safer than renouncing everything and going to solitude for sadhana. Today also we received 2 emails. Sitting quietly, one devotee writes, sitting quietly at home, I was thinking about yesterday's satsang and was thinking how can I even think of making myself fit for spiritual journey when I don't even know if I am in quest of God. All throughout my interaction with Puja Swamiji. I only presented never-ending problems. I never even thought of asking Swamiji the steps to be taken by a sadhaka. Now he is facilitating us to be on the spiritual quest. I have never taken up so many Ramnam for any particular relief, but definitely I had resorted to Ramnam for peace in times of stress, which I used to get immediately. But this much I can say for myself, every morning without fail, Papa makes me chant. This is something wonderful. I don't know if it is the right way or not, but for me, it is a requirement, just like the baby reaches the bottle of milk when needed. Today too, when I was asking Papa, when will he make me chant the right way, he made me come across one bhajan and I was moved. So in effect, I do nothing, just let things happen. May I be ever in tune with all-pervading Papa. So this is also the churning is going on. And the final word is very, very inspiring. In fact, I do nothing, just let things happen. Reply. So even without making us aware, these are all indications where, even without us making us aware, he is facilitating our move towards him. Every step towards him, even the inadequacy or insufficiency in our sadhana is also made known to us by his grace. And every now and then he has to. Because you all remember, one more email also has come. As we are progressing in quest of him, the quest is slowly disappearing. And we are slowly dissolving into him. Wonderful state which we can't even explain. In quest of him turns out to be just in him. May we all be stabilized and established in him. Just remembering the quotation heard somewhere, we are losing the individuality of a drop and gaining the nature of the ocean. You see, yesterday when Papa made us to seriously ponder over, see the way in which he touches and kindles and encourages, This was a very highly inspiring message. As we are progressing in quest of him, the quest is slowly disappearing. And we are slowly dissolving in him. Wonderful state which we can't even explain. In quest of him turns out to be just in him. May we all be stabilized. Oh dear. When he wrote that, The search will lead to a better understanding of what the words here really means. The journey will enable one to have a better idea of the relationship between the ideal and the person, spirit and matter, path and the goal, the sadhaka and the sadhana, guru and disciple, ephemeral and eternal. Now, these are all the outcome. No? As we keep on moving towards him, he facilitates us. How do we know that we are moving towards him? These are all the milestones, So when we start from ashram to Mangalore, every kilometer we see the milestone, the kilometer stone, which will indicate whether we are on the right path. The NH is right, kilometer is getting reduced, so we are sure we are moving toward the destination. Similarly, when we do sadhana, these are some of the things that will make us know, yes, we are. What are these? The better idea of the relationship between the ideal and the person, spirit and matter, path and the goal, sadhaka and sadhana, guru and disciple, and finally the ephemeral and the eternal. The search has no end until the searcher, the sense of individuality, realizes the reality within, and the searcher is no more. Just like what the other devotee wrote, This has been corroborated by Papa himself by addressing the devotees who were attached to the form of Papa Mataji. He even went to the extent of telling them that you have put Papa Mataji in a photo, whereas Papa Mataji is everywhere, God is everywhere, you are everywhere. So the search, finally comes to this. When he says it dissolving, the sense of individuality is slowly dissolving in him. Papa Mataji is everywhere, God is everywhere, you are everywhere. The search has no end until the searcher realizes the reality within, and the searcher is no more. So these two messages we wanted to share with you. Anybody would like to say anything, or can we move to In Quest of God?
Wonderful life we have touched today.
It was good what you read now.
Devotee and sadhaka, Anything else? Where are we now? Calcutta, Dakshineshwar. Before that, kindly go back to the first article. The love, O Ram, the truth, the love, the goal of human perfection. All hail, all hail. This is how the title is given for the first article. Papa's first book, first page, that is first article, and this is the title. O Ram, defining the truth, the love, the goal of human perfection. What do we mean by goal of human perfection? He makes us to think. It looks as if he is telling us, I have brought this very important point on the first title itself, but you seem to have ignored. No, Papa, you did not make us to concentrate upon it, so what can we do? Then he takes us to the next stage of giving us more and more clarity on that word, and very important. The goal of human perfection. When he said the truth is that which stays ever, no? The reality, which is called in English another reality. Because of which now these words are coming. And then the love, absence of otherness. So Ram stands for absence of otherness. Ram stands for the truth, the reality. The only reality. The only reality, and he is absence of otherness. And then he says the goal of human perfection. Goal of human perfection. Perfection is a state of completeness, flawlessness, or supreme excellence. So when we keep on chanting Ram Nam, even if it is for a few seconds, we feel full inside. Then he is showing us a glimpse of it. Completeness. Which we can call it as stillness or silence or peace or fullness. That is the goal of human perfection. And it is because there is nothing else is there, it is flawlessness, you know. Only when the sense of individuality comes there, we are subject to various flaws. So it is free from that. And then supreme excellence. Beyond that we cannot add any word. So when in the Ishavasya Upanishads, when he says, Shanti mantras, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamaduchyade Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnameva Avashishyate. So even the fullness, even if you take the fullness does not get reduced. The air we breathe, whether it was 32 crores, whether it was 36 crores, whether it was 40 crores, whether it is 140 crores, it is equal to everybody, it is full. The space is full. So he is giving us, this is the state. Always fullness, 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 fullness. So when we chant Ram Nam, Suppose we bring in this dimension. Papa has given us the clue. That is to remember him. Remember him not. Remember the fullness, completeness. So he says, Ram is the goal of human perfection. The goal is that completeness. So this also we wanted to share because we had not covered this point during our many reviews. So we now go to the Calcutta Dakshineshwar.
Swamiji,
Oh,
we were unearthing daily something new.
Unearthing.
we don't know. We don't know. When we keep on going and suddenly he says, have you applied your mind on this word? It is there on the top. Sorry, you did not make us to concentrate upon it. Then suddenly he gives us the direction. Oh, absolutely right. I should have been clear about it. Right from the beginning. The moment I take up in quest of God, and the moment I started reading, though initially this would not have stuck to me, my repeated reading would normally skip, because, the title I know, all hail, no, we will go to the text. But he has also put it in a capsule there. Just like when we applied our mind on Ram, the subtle and mysterious power which gave us a lot of clarity, because otherwise our mind had so many concepts about God, Guru, everything, But slowly he cleared everything, So, but at the same time, he chose not to look at it. But now the first line itself will come to us. Oh, goal of Ram is the goal of human perfection. And the whole goal of human perfection is fullness. Niraivu, in Tamil. What do you say in Hindi?
Trupta.
Trupta. That is contentment. Trupta. She's telling Trupta.
Purnatvam Trupta.
Anyway, it is full.
Tamil Tripti.
Tamil Trupti, he says.
Triptiya.
Tamil Tripti.
Tripti alla. Tripti satisfaction thane. Tripti is satisfaction. You are satisfied. Tripti acha. No. This is fullness. Niraivu. Tamil niraivu.
Purnatvam.
Purnatvam. Fullness.
Whole, W-H-O-L-E.
Fullness.
Swamiji, in Prem Sudha, one poem is Prabhu Charani Vahi Santushta Sadatu Rahi.
Santushta Sada. Yeah. Santushto yena kenajidi. It is there. Fullness, completeness. You are full. All these things now he touches and kindles. We were reading this Prabhu Charani Vahi many a times. But we have not applied, What is the English translation of Prabhu Charani Vahi? Uma? Prabhu Charani Vahi.
I think Surrender, Swamiji. The name of the title is.
The
title of the poem is Surrender, I think.
Surrender.
Prabhu Charani.
It could be. Let us see. There should be a purpose why this is pointed out today, no? Poem. Surrender.
Hold on to the Lord's feet.
Samarpan, in Marathi it is Samarpan, in English it it is surrender. ಇದು ಪ್ರೇಮ್ ಸುಧಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಪೋಯಮ್ಸ್. Shall I bring prem sudha?
No, we have got it.
Swamiji, it is Atma Samarpan.
Atma Samarpan.
Self-surrender.
Self-surrender, huh?
Yes, Swamiji.
No, it is not there as a poem. Anyway, it's all right. We can find out the meaning we have got. Prabhu Charani Vahi Santushta Sataha प्रेमते चैतन्य मिलन्यागति प्रभु जी मोको कहाँ Anyway, it's all right. At the moment, he is not. Sorry, we have somewhere kept, we don't know where we have kept Prabhu Charani Vahi with lyrics. Anyway, Santushta, that is the word. Santushta. Yes, it is almost near that. So, goal of human perfection. Kindly think about that. Ram is the goal of human perfection. So, anything connected with perfection, we can say, Yoga Karma Sukhaushalam, he says, dexterity in action, efficiency in action. It is all the expression of God. Perfection in everything, excellence in everything. Whatever we do, whatever we talk, whatever we think, it should be full. Okay. Then we go back to Calcutta and Dakshineshwar. Yes, anything that comes before you or mind?
Yes, Swamiji. His complete detachment from his physical body during the mosquitoes and the cold, and how it was a blessing that Ram kept him awake so efficiently to chant his name all night. This is very powerful for me. It shows how he's completely unidentified with his physical body.
Yes, very, very, very touching, at the same time toughest. Very, very touching and at the same time toughest. Self-surrender is the word. Offer thy all to Ram and rest content. So contentment. No sorrow, then dare approach thee. Thou art secure under the powerful protection of Ram. Behold, Ram's will alone is supreme. Bend and bow to that will. Come what may, it is Ram who does all. And he does all for good. For Ram is kind Ram is love. Ram means always well. Let the thought of Ram ever dwell in thy mind. Never him forget. Thou art freed, thou art saved. Rest content, no? Contentment. The whole meaning of the bhajan, Atma Samarpan. Prabhucharani vahi santushta sadatu rahi dukhanche magahe jad bahare.
Kanche maga.
Tula. You should chant in the tune, then you will get it.
Sing.
Prabhu Charani Vahi Santushta Sadatu Vahi Dukhache Mag He Jad Bare Dukhache Mag He Jad Bare Alala Tula Sparshiti Kadina Dire Samartha Rakshi Ramatula hai. Now Murahi Tu Prabhu Sukha Dukha Che Prasangayeti Sri Ramaji Asekriti Tvakalyana Vachuniman Hetuni Anya Hetu Nahi Karuna Sag Tu Shri Rama Prema Prayodi Tu Shri Rama Nitya Setu Mangaladama Sakalataya Vahi Prabhu Charani Santata Hridayi Rama Vichar Khade Tyaja Vismara Ahesi tu Mukta Nirantara Bhavapar Sadahi Beautiful. Offer the Atma Samarpan, self-surrender. Offer thy all to Ram and rest content. No sorrow then dare approach thee. Thou art secure under the powerful protection of Ram. Behold, Ram's will alone is supreme. Bend and bow to that will. Come what may, it is Ram who does all. And he does all for good. For Ram is kind, Ram is love, Ram means always well. Let the thought of Ram ever dwell in thy mind. Santata Hridayi Rama Vichar. Never him forget, thou art free, thou art saved. So the first line of the first quotation, caption of the first book of Papa, it says goal of human perfection. And perfection, now we are very clear, it stands for contentment, fullness, contentment. Okay. Nothing more, no insufficiency, no inadequacy, That is there in all of us. So we are trying to unearth. Okay. Now coming back to Calcutta and Dakshineshwar, yes, what has been shared now, the toughest, even apart from the biting cold, virulent attack of mosquitoes. So he says, not only the cold very severe due to the chill breeze blowing from the river, but also quite a host of mosquitoes commenced attacking the sadhus in grim earnest. This is a terrible state of things, cried out the Sadhu Ram. In Tirupati there was only cold, which was comparatively tolerable, but here it is coupled with the sharp stings of mosquitoes. It is all right, friend, replied Ramdas. Ram's kindness cannot be sufficiently praised. He has found a most efficient method to keep Ramdas awake, to enable him to perform Ram Bhajan without sleep, encroaching upon it in the least. Well, was all that the sadhu said, who was now busy driving away the winged guests, by waving to and fro the piece of cloth with which he covered his body. The turning, transforming every adverse, most adverse, adverse situation to a positive one. We may not be able to raise ourselves to this extent, but certainly we can raise ourselves to some extent, The grumbling and complaining, the complaining attitude can be quelled to some extent by absorbing this particular word.
One more thing, Swamiji. When we aim for the highest things, the small things like mosquito bite and cold should not matter us. Like that, isn't it?
When we aim for the highest, small things like mosquito bite does not occupy our mind space. For Papa.
For Papa, not for us. One sound of mosquito will definitely bring us back to the body level. We all had a terrible experience in Coimbatore railway station one night. Not Coimbatore, sorry, Podanur railway station. Even the police, everybody, they have all shut their doors. So nobody was there in the platform. So finally, we went to the police room or the station master's room. They said, immediately close. Otherwise, they will kill you. Then they said, this time, at this particular time, the attack is virulent. So then we knew that, okay. So then we could not sit, that's all. We were able to walk and spend the time there. So it is not that easy at all. When both these are there, there was only mosquito problem. Here the biting cold and the mosquito. And to keep ourselves away from it, toughest. So the message is, even in the most adverse circumstances, if the ideal is kept alive, we might be able to bear all those things cheerfully. As an ideal, we can keep it in our mind and try in our own way to the extent possible. Yes, anything else?
The second paragraph will be on the moon, the second paragraph.
Second paragraph.
O Mother of the Universe, bless thy weak and helpless child. May thy humble slave look upon all womankind as mothers representing the divine form. So when he went to, this is a point, yes, it has never struck to all of us. We go to, God has made, though he is nameless and formless and beyond all gender, when he created us, there is a division, man and woman. for the purpose of propagating. Yeah, okay, that is also right. But at the same time, when the call comes from within, to know him, to move towards him, the first and the important thing is to go beyond the feeling of gender. That is why when he took this sannyas, the second vow was this. So when there are so many temples dedicated to Devis, now especially in Navaratri period, even in our custom it should percolate into us. That is why goddess is invoked. And when we go to the temple of a goddess, of course 99 out of 100, all devotees, they have only this. She is considered as the Jagannatha. Whoever may be the deity there, whatever name it goes on.
Durga Devi.
Any Devi, whether you call it as Durga, whether you call it as Saraswati, whether you call it as Lakshmi, whether you call it as Kartyayani, everywhere when we go there, unknowingly, not that with this background we go, we immediately go there and prostrate or we seek the darshan, Jagannatha. Because we have heard, temple dedicated to Ardhanarishwara. Many of you might have heard, some people would not have heard. Half of the form of the deity will be
Shiva and Shiva. Shiva and
no,
male
two gender, male and female. Male and female. It gives us a wonderful thought. He says, the static aspect, he says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the Pita, But at the same time, Prakriti is the Mata. So Purusha and Prakriti put together, the whole world has come. So when we go to a temple, this is the message, subtle message. When he prays on those lines, we take it, this is the message for all of us. O Mother of the Universe, bless thy weak and helpless child. May thy humble slave look upon all womankind as mothers representing the divine form. Here again, Ramdas experienced a feeling of inexpressible joy and complete resignation to the divine will. Tears flowed profusely from his eyes. It was all due to the mother's grace. The sadhu stayed. Very, very important point. Very, very important point. Jagannatha. Many poems have been, songs have been composed on these lines. In Tamil there are plenty, Jagajanani, yeah. So there are plenty connecting us, the devotee, to the mother aspect. So God is there in the form of Purusha, Prakriti and Purushottama. So through the Prakriti, through the mother, though the father is the Bija Pradha, it is through the mother that we all come out. So the mother plays an important role. Even the father has come out from a mother, na? So that is why first is addressed to the mother and then only father. Because for 9.5 months, it was she who was motivated to allow for the growth of us inside. The 200 odd organs from a tiny little speck. By the time I came out, I have there in me developed these 200 and odd organs. And this was nourished by my mother. Whatever food she ate, whatever oxygen she breathed, whatever water she consumed everything, it was all passed down to me in the way in which I can accept it. Not in the gross form in which she accepted, but her internal mechanism provided to convert this into that type of food or material that would keep me growing. Just imagine. We thank him, but he chose mother to bring it out. So when we keep on thinking about these aspects, we just think about the ultimate Jagannatha, from whom the entire creation has come out.
Swamiji, please explain Purushottama.
Purusha, Prakriti and Purushottama. The creativity, now we are sitting in a room. There is a space. Previously, prior to the construction of this room, there was space here. The room space was here, which was identified by constructing the wall and the roof. But it is also part of the cosmic space. The individual space is there and the cosmic space is there. Technically they are one and the same, but for the sake of understanding, we have to split it. So when the walls are kept, the same space becomes the room, but the cosmic space is still there. So the wall, the roof, the flooring, and the space. So this construction of the room, we can call it as Prakriti. Purusha, we can call it as the room space. Purushottama is the cosmic space in which this room space and the construction exists. It remains unaffected. Though the construction and the room space, the name of the space is now not space, This is Centenary Hall, that is a new name, For the same space, we are given a new name. So this Centenary Hall and the which has come out because of the construction, they are not independent of the cosmic space. It is there in the all-pervading space. So we can take it as Purushottama stands for the cosmic space. The individual sense of individuality, body, mind, intellect, equipment as the Prakriti, and the life force in it is called as the Purusha. Though all these things are there in the Purushottama, for the sake of intellect, for the sake of knowing through the intellect, it has been split. So when Papa gave us this name, he has mentioned it. Ram stands for, the Om stands for the Purusha. Ram stands for, Sri stands for Prakriti, and Ram stands for Purushottama. Ram covers everything. So the Prakriti, we can say the entire creation. Not only human beings, all creations. And the static aspect, that is always there. The static aspect is there individually in everybody, That is why you and I are struggling to realize the presence of it. So first we have been asked to realize the presence of Atman within us, then only the Brahman everywhere, or Paramatman. So we try to understand like this. Technically we don't know what these words represent. But from what Papa has taught us, and what our little intellect can gauge and understand, these are the three ways in which we can understand. From the explanation he has given, for the Ram Nam. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. We will try to read his own words. Ram represents the Purushottama of the Gita, who is at once Purusha and Prakriti, and also the supreme transcendent one beyond both. Another explanation he has given: Om stands for the impersonal truth, Sri stands for the divine power, Ram stands for God, who is both truth and power, both personal and impersonal. Ram represents the Purushottama of the Gita, who is at once Purusha and Prakriti, and all the supreme transcendent one beyond both. So, putting it in our language, when he says great void, so we take it that easy for us to understand the space. Space is untouched, unaffected, the cosmic space, in which we have all built up, small cottages, small house, small rooms. And when there was it was a plain site, the cosmic space was undisturbed. When I bought the site, I built up a house, I named it, and then I no longer see the space. I always identify that space as the house, but through construction. So then I try to understand Prakriti, but the space is still there, untouched, unaffected, undiminished. Oh, so Purusha, Prakriti, then the cosmic one, Purushottama. Then, so coming back to, not coming back, it's already 5.
Prakriti is the dynamic aspect and Purusha is the static aspect.
Correct. Because why should we be too technical, no? So we will understand this. All of us have got a sense of individuality. We have come from this body, mind and intellect equipment has come from another creation. It is becoming active because of the presence of the Chaitanya in it, life force in it. So this much we can understand. The body, mind, intellect equipment is the Prakriti. The Chaitanya behind it is the Purusha. And the all-pervading reality. That is why they have chosen two words, Atman and Brahman. Individually, it is Atman. On the cosmic level, it is called Brahman. This is how Papa makes us understand. In Anandashram, we don't go through the traditional way of Vedanta teaching. There may be so many slogas, so many things to clarify this. But he puts it in a very simple form for enabling us to understand. He wants us to concentrate on the core of our being rather than getting stuck with the various forms of expression. The core of our being is this Chaitanya, inside. At the same time, it is because of the outer body that the Chaitanya is there. So this outer body is helpful for me. The body, mind, intellect equipment helps me to realize his presence. So this is also valid, relevant. So Prakriti, Purusha, Purushottama. So when Papa went to Calcutta, he was able to bring in this, and now he touches and kindles all these aspects in us. This is in-depth study, Good, one more point we have got. Rest we will take it up tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday. So Monday we will again meet. This chapter we have just started, that's all. Probably there may be many, many, many more. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Hari Om Swami.
Om Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Harivam Pranam Swami.
Pranam, Pranam, Pranam.
Namaskar Swami.
Pranam, Pranam, Pranam. Namaskaram.